New Artist Spotlight Podcast.
Welcome everybody to the New Artist Spotlight Podcast. So today it's just myself, as Origin is unfortunately a little bit ill. But if you've watched and listened before, you'll know that we're here to interview some of the greatest of NAS artists all around the world. And today we've got a guy who I've spoken to once before as part of his former group, FR Music Project, but now coming back as Rich Allen. Please welcome Rich Allen.
Hey,
how you doing, mate?
It's so good to be here. It's good, so good to see you. It's, I like you said, it was about a year ago when I was on the podcast last, and a lot has happened, and I'm just so thankful to have a chance to catch up with you. And also just tell you how excited I am. I'm looking forward to your new release and how much I love Sacked on Championship Manager. What a great piece.
Oh, thanks, man.
I love it. Yeah. So it's really cool. I'm glad to be here. So
yeah, it's good to have you. So tell us about what's been going on since then. So what happened to FR Music Project?
We kind of just went our different ways, I think that sometimes people grow apart, and my musical style and what I wanted to do and the avenue I wanted to go was maybe a little different than him. I wish him well. He's doing really good on his own. You could check him out at freddiematthews.com.
Right.
He's doing, I think, some covers, and he's playing around the local circuit, which is great. I've just kind of jumped in and realized I just had a pretty major birthday in my life. I turned 62, and I'm getting ready for the next steps towards retirement. And all I want to do is just really throw myself completely into my music. And I was looking at the amount of songs that I have, and that's all I really want to do. So I've just been spending all my spare time, besides trying to be a good husband and raise a teenage daughter, in the studio. I'm fortunate enough to have my home studio, and just trying to record as many songs as I can to kind of maybe leave my mark, so to speak, or whatever,
Yeah, no, that sounds great, man. I know that feeling. Unfortunately, retirement is not just around the corner for me. I really wish it was, but you know what? I'll take the extra 30 years. For now.
I take my youth back, to be honest with you. I love working, don't get me wrong. And I'll always play music, but the opportunity to increase the amount of time that I have to create and work on something that I love, and to try to hone my craft. I mean, I'm constantly trying to write better songs, improve my compositions, my arrangements, all of that is, and it's...
It never stops, does it? It's good fun, like just sort of... seeing where it'll all go as well. And like, yeah, you do right, man. If you had that urge to make your own music, and nothing's gonna stop that, is it? Nothing feels better than that, I think. And
nothing feels better than that. Yeah. And I also feel that nothing is better than being challenged. I've learned a long time ago that if you're humble in this business, you'll do well. There's nothing better than learning from better musicians. And if I could throw it out there, one of the things that NAS has done for me is I get a chance to listen to what other independent artists like me that don't have the backing of mainstream or what they call the tastemakers. And I see what they're doing and what they're producing. And it strives and it pushes me to create and try to produce a product just as good, if not better. Not that I'm competitive, but I gleaned so much from them. And I mean, it's just an amazing, it's been an amazing opportunity for me to really learn and appreciate my fellow NAS artists.
Yeah,
across the board, So it's really kind of cool.
It sounded really good, by the way, your music. I know you've got one track out so far, haven't you? Crazy You. It sounds really good.
Yes.
And
so I have.
You've got one that I've had an exclusive preview of as well. But yeah, they sounded brilliant, man. I like you. It sounded very full, and the production sounds really good. Are you doing all that yourself?
Well, no. I have a lot of help from there's that. I call it the Charles Connolly factor. The man's brilliant.
Yeah,
So
it's good.
here's what it is like I start to put together like this pot of stew, so to speak. And I throw all these tracks in it, and then I send it to him, and he figures out how to season it, so to speak. That's kind of how to describe it. He's been able to take and understand what I'm trying to express in the song, and mix it and engineer it and fix my tracks in a way so that I just I love the way it comes out. I mean, he really is a master at it, and I'm so thankful. First off, I'm humbled that he agreed to help mix and master my tracks and kind of co-produce them. And on top of that, that I just love the outcome. And I have two other songs ready to go and to be released. I'm actually tomorrow tracking vocals for 3 more, and then I'm kind of going to take a break for the rest of the year and enjoy the summer with my daughter and my wife after I track these vocals, and then hopefully send them off to be mixed and mastered. And then I have a few corporate gigs that I'm doing, which is, it's always good money where you can go and play some of your original music and just sprinkle a few covers in there and get paid well. And
that's great, man.
So I have a couple of those booked, and I'm working on this local record store tour where actually from the singles from F&R Music Project that singles that I wrote, I'm actually going and kind of performing them and then selling the album and kind of doing like record stores just to kind of help build a local following here. And
yeah, that's awesome, man. Do you get the record store gigs? Do you get is it just that people will be coming in and browsing records anyway, and you'll be there playing and they'll pick it up?
It's kind of cool. Some places will really market it and say, hey, we're having this event, come see this singer-songwriter. He's going to talk with you. And, and then I just, I ramble on about nonsense and then play a few songs. I've done like 2 of them, and they've been really a lot of fun. Some people listen intently. Some people just come in, and my music is a kind of a niche in a niche, if you will. I mean, it's more geared towards older people. I hate to say it that way, but what I love about my music, or the music that I create, and I will always do this, is it's analog instruments. It's the instruments are being played, and right. And that's important to me. And it's beautiful to see things come to life. I never ever thought in a million years that when I just started toying around that I would ever get to this level, nor did I ever. It wasn't really an aspiration where now I'm like getting paid to go play out and enjoying it. And then I have music that's released. So it's kind of surreal in a way, because it's not really was ever my intention or my career path, but now it is. It's that I'm a little late, so to speak, but
it's better late than never, man. Yeah, better late than never. And that's great. I love that about the modern age as well. It's easier to become a recording artist. There's not so many barriers in the way, and you can express yourself however you want to. You don't have to listen to what other people think you should be doing with your songs or anything like that. Yeah, it's great, man. And,
absolutely.
So we've got we're going to play one of your tracks. I'll get this out of the way early because I want to hear about it. I'm interested. So first of all, the name of it, Hobbes. What's this? Hobbes. What does it mean?
Okay, so it's kind of had a couple different meanings. There was a philosopher, Thomas Hobbes, an old philosopher from England, and he really was a curmudgeon. He really was I think he was a miserable son of a bitch. There's no other way to put it. But he was also the inspiration.
We all are.
Yeah. Sorry. I hope I didn't offend any fans out there. It's just my opinion, and I'm subject to change if you can convince me. But Hobbes was also the inspiration between the comic strip Calvin and Hobbes. And so anyway, Hobbes is the tiger, and Calvin was from the Calvin Calvinism, or the founder of the, I think, Presbyterian Church. Anyway, all this to say is there's a reference in the song about Calvin and Hobbes kind of going off a cliff. And it kind of just summed up that, how do I say this? It kind of summed up the song in a couple different ways. The song's about just things going bad. And that's kind of Thomas Hobbes' outlook on life. Everything goes bad. And that's kind of the way the comic strip character is. Everything goes bad. So anyway, that's why I called it Hobbes. Please don't ask.
That's good. That's good. So how are you actually, actually, I'll do that after. We'll play the song first. Unless, is there anything else you want to tell us about the song before we give it a spin?
No, I can tell you that when I wrote it, I kind of pilfered something from a song I wrote when I was 14. So I kind of stole the hook from the song that I wrote when I was 14 and kind of blended it in. So I guess there's no shame in that, but it is what it is. The other song will never be anything because the other song just, never evolved. But the hook was there, and now here it is, 40 years later. And
yeah, man. But no, there's no shame in that at all. I think that's great. I think that's a lot of what us musicians and songwriters will probably do as well is, you have one idea and at the time it doesn't seem right. And then a few years later, suddenly
it's the longest cooking song. I say they all.
Yeah, man. So 48 years in the making.
It's cooked forever,
Yeah. So do you want to do the honors and introduce it?
Yeah. So this is Hobbes. Please don't ask. And I do want to say it features Hugo Lee on sax, and amazing talent and an amazing friend. And I'm thankful that he agreed to play on this track for me. So with further ado, here's Hobbes.
The 90s were our time.
your name. Whisper sorrow, whispers pain, the roaring thunder and the pouring rain. Some of the things that I miss, your gentle touch, your sweet kiss, the way you smell like a spring mist. I remember all of this. Please don't ask me to explain. After all this time, I still feel this way. It's the rambling, rumbling in my brain. It's like rolling thunder and pouring rain. Shoreline blended with the night. Our love faded with the light. Like Calvin and Hobbes going off the cliff. Careful now, we don't want to learn anything from this. Please don't ask me. No, please don't ask me. Please don't ask me. I don't have any answers at all.
Okay, great, mate. That was fantastic. Thank you for letting us play that. And you said about your friend on sax as well. Is there like some backing vocals in there from the female as well? Or
So I'm very fortunate. I work with a couple different background artists. In Tampa, we're blessed to have amazing singer-songwriters. You can go out any night to any open mic and run into somebody with amazing voices. And they're so pleased to have the opportunity to go into a professional studio to record vocals that I usually can talk them into it. What I do is everything else is pretty much tracked at home or in a different location. And then I only cut in a pro studio because I can only afford so much and I'd rather spend it on the back end. I go and record my vocals always in like clear tracks or in a professional recording studio. The quality of their microphones and the fact that I can have an engineer on the panel while I'm doing the vocals, to me is priceless, because to try to do both, it's not like you're playing guitar or you're laying down a piano track or things like that. The vocals, I just feel the microphone is everything. And I don't have $8,000 for a mic. To be honest with you, all the equipment that I have, I pay for my gigs. I mean, it's hard to be it's not hard. It's an expense to try to be an independent musician and release music nowadays. And it's not getting any cheaper, but it's okay because it's the only vice I have. And it's a healthy vice and it's a healthy expression. And I feel like it's going to keep me young. And I just, I feel very blessed to be able to do it. And the cool part is learning about different strategies when I'm recording. Some different things and things that I'm doing. Like, for instance, there's a bathroom right off of we're in my studio right now, and there's a bathroom off of there. And sometimes I put a mic in the bathroom and leave the door open because of that natural reverb that comes out of the shower, and kind of fool around with that. Or, a lot of times I'll do the guitar direct, or other times I'll just turn it all 9.0 and blast it through the mics, and it's just interesting to see what works and doesn't work, and
just playing around with everything.
Right.
Are you how much of a perfectionist would you say you are?
I don't think I'm nearly enough perfectionist, because here's the thing. I think there's, and I'm going to say this, and Charles Connolly, if you're watching this, please do not judge me, but I think there's beauty in imperfection.
Yeah.
I think that I really, really do. And, a lot of, I love studio recordings, but what I truly love is live performances. And I love the little bit of pitchiness in somebody's voice when they're singing on stage. What I love is the exchange of energy. And that only happens in a live performance. Now, all the music that I write and try to record, there's an essence in it, or not an essence, but they're written to be played live. They're written to be played live with a big band behind me. That's my whole, when I hear the music in my head. And so that's why toward the end of my songs, they kind of run on, but they're meant to do that. And I write all my music thinking like I'm performing them, because usually they start out with me playing on an acoustic guitar. And from there, it kind of builds. And then I'll go over to the piano and try to figure it out, or try to figure out chord changes or whatever. But I always throw down a scratch track as soon as the idea comes into my head. Some of the best ideas have been lost because I have been too lazy to hit record.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens to you, or I'm sure it happens to all musicians.
It's got to, because you have so many ideas. And I think for me, I've got like this long list of like songs where I've thought of an amazing idea and then I've written it down like just on a note to record that at a later date. And then you can never get around to it, can you? There's so many like, or I'm already working on another song. I think, right, I've got to finish this one first and then I'll get onto that. And then by the time I finish that, I've already gone down a different route with a different idea. And
it's like
you say, maybe you come back to that in another 48 years, you'll get back to him.
Well, there is hope. I got 3 going right now, so I relate. And it's kind of funny because at the beginning of the year, New Year's, my poor wife was down with COVID. And she's better now. She's fine, but she was down with COVID. So New Year's Eve, and then there's my daughter was just like, she's a teenager. She doesn't want to hang out with dad on New Year's Eve. So I'm playing music and writing songs. And the next day I'm sitting with my daughter and she kind of challenged me to write a song a month. And so when February came around, she goes, "Did you write February?" And she gives me certain subject lines. Like she really wants me to write this satirical country song, like the epitome of the ultimate country song. And I kind of have some, but I also feel somewhat offensive. And in this culture today, especially in the United States, I'm not sure I want to like piss off anybody. So I'm not going to record it. We're just going to do it around the house and laugh about it here.
Yeah, man, you don't want to be cancelled. Let's not have Rich Allen cancelled.
Yeah.
By the country crowd.
I'm a firm believer, love all, harm none. Let's just make music and change the world that way.
Yeah, man. So when you play live, do you play live with a full band or is it just you?
Well, lately it's just been me playing acoustic guitar. Some of the things that I do sometimes is I'll actually play with some backing tracks that I have that I kind of mix down, and it's more of a click for me, just to keep me kind of going. And I enjoy that. Now, there is plans to play bigger venues. And with that, I put a band together. I have a drummer and a bass player and a keyboard player that I get together like once a week with, just to do things with.
That's class, man.
Just to kind of stay in the groove, but we haven't played any gigs for a couple of reasons. One, I'm at the point now where I'm not going to play a gig and lose money. So if I have to pay out a full band, then I'm not going to make anything. I just soon do it, take less money and have a good time instead of doing that way. I know that sounds somewhat arrogant, but that's just... No,
it doesn't, mate. It doesn't. You've got to have your own boundaries and stuff. Right. And I've been thinking this myself recently, actually, because I've got a couple of gigs coming up where I'm not getting paid for them 2 Saturdays in a row. And I'm thinking after these 2, I don't really want to keep taking gigs where I'm not getting paid, or because it's costing me and it's taking my Saturday night, and then I might sell a couple of CDs or something like that. But it's not a lot of money, and it's, although it's not about the money. At first, it was like I just wanted to be on the bill, whereas now it's like, well, even if there might only be sort of 20 people there anyway, is it worth it when I could be sort of doing other things more fulfilling? Maybe not more fulfilling because I love playing live, but I don't know. You've just got to do whatever you feels right, haven't you? Like,
for me, what I find that for me, when I really feel like going out to play and I want people to just like, I want to road test a new song, I intentionally go to the open mics where you don't get paid. There's people there are other musicians, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to get some honest feedback from some musicians. Some musicians are will be quite the opposite. They'll be somewhat I don't know how to put it.
Blowing smoke up your ass, just tell you it's amazing. Like, is that what you mean, or?
Well, no, they'll be like, you know, like, I don't know, almost standoffish or rude to you. And I just feel, okay, well, that's their issue or their insecurity, or they just don't appreciate that. I'm of the mindset that when I go to open mic, I don't care how great they are or how bad they are. I'm going to applaud and I'm going to cheer them on, because it takes a little bit of you know what to get up there and do it. And they're doing it. Everybody's got to start somewhere. So if you can't see that, then, you know, luckily I go to these open mics that it's a great crowd, and you see like unbelievable talent across the board, youngsters that just blow me away. And old guys like me just getting up there and just having a good old time, you know? And so I'm thankful to be part of where I live, that there's a great local music scene, and I get to be part of it, and I get to get out and do it. I am planning on putting together a big show for next year, and that will be pretty much, I'll probably try to get booked at the Attic, which is a great listening hall here that I did a show a couple of years ago. And that would be a full band, complete with horns, just a full band. And I'm trying to share the venue with another local band that's doing pretty well, and we'll see what happens. It's tough, though. It's tough to market. It's a tough market here. A lot of people in America right now, I feel like a lot of people don't have the disposable income they had 2 years ago, even before COVID. So I don't know, you know, who's spending money on shows. I see less people doing anything. I was at a show the other night, and it seemed about 75% capacity of what it should be, you know. But
yeah, it's the same here, man. I've noticed a lot of people just aren't going to shows, and I think COVID had got people into the habit of sort of cancelling or not going to stuff, or, you know, sort of maybe they'll say they'll be there, and then last minute they'll think, oh no, I can't be bothered. Yeah, it's a strange one, man. It has changed a bit, I think. But the hardcore ones will still be going to gigs and open mics and stuff like that.
Yeah, the people that need that fix, you know. I love it because, like I said, I like the opportunity to kind of road test new stuff. It's always kind of good to throw it out there and see what works and didn't work. And then also I love to hear other musicians, and the networking. It's huge. I mean, it's again like New Artist Spotlight. The networking on this has been invaluable, and it's interesting because it's made the world so small for me, smaller than it was, and I love that. I love the fact that I have now friends and artists that I know across the world, and I'll tell you, there's nothing better for me. Monday at 12 o'clock. I love it. That the top 20 countdown. I look forward to the Day Connelly review, and then New Discovery on Friday. You know, so there's a lot of excitement, and there's a lot of pulse that I feel, and it's always great to hear good quality music before anybody else, and that's the way I look at it. I mean, it's such an amazing community to be part of.
You're right, man. I'm privileged to have this post as well, because I get to listen to people's tracks before they come out, or, you know, like your track. It was amazing, and I love it, man. Same with the top 20 as well. It's 5 p.m. for me on Mondays, and I'm always driving to Andy's Man Club, so I always see the chats going off, and I always know.
It's funny because
go on.
Your phone's pinging, right? He goes, ping. It's lunchtime. People are knocking on my office door. So I kind of tell them now that I kind of fib a little bit and say, hey, I'm going to training for an hour and close the door. But they hear the music because I'm cranking it up. I mean, especially if it's a banger, you know, I got to turn all the way up and my office is rocking. But they know I'm the musician of the group. So I think they tolerate it a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
And
I get excited. I don't know about you, but I get excited to see who's on Plum and a Chum as well. I'm always like, wonder who it's going to be this week.
Yeah. I always wish that they would play a little bit more of the lower 20, you know, because I'm just getting into it and all of a sudden they stop and go to the next one. But I get it. I get the time constraint.
Yeah, it's a good format, I think.
I really do. I think it's an amazing production. And then whoever came up with that link tree for the pre-saves, props for that as well. Because, I mean, all of that just helps. It just helps along the way to promote everybody. And I think we lift each other up. I really do believe that. So, hey, I know, can I ask you about
you? Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah.
Charles, and Charles did a thing. Tell me,
Yes.
come on, give me a little sneak peek.
Mate. Well, Charles is very top secret about all his work.
Okay, so I'm going to
I can't tell you too much. I can't tell you too much. I'll tell you a little bit. I think it's a great track. I'll tell you that much. It's very imaginative. It's very. I mean, you've heard Charles' stuff. Every time he releases something, it's got something new in there. It's got something like the guy's a genius. I think. I think he's one of the greatest songwriters in NAS, and possibly one of the greatest songwriters I've ever stumbled across. To be honest, because he's a talented guy, very talented guy.
So he is, and here's the beauty of Charles. And there's many beautiful things. First off, I fell in love with the birthday song because I was just. It's a little over a year ago that I became a member of NAS, but heard the birthday song, fell in love with it, and started listening to all of his music. And I heard these little subtleties here and there through his music. And so you listen to it through your speakers and then your monitors, then you put your headphones on and you hear all these things. So I send my tracks to Charles and I get back Crazy You and I hear all these little, I call them Easter eggs that he placed in and out of my songs. And it was just like almost he knew what I was thinking. And I just thought to myself, okay, this guy is an amazing talent. I knew he was good, but I didn't think he was great. Now I know he's great. And so as you can tell, I'm a huge fan. I mean, oh my God,
great,
I'm just a huge fan. So I'm really excited about that as well. And
it should be good, man. Yeah, and I think it's his first collab as well. He's never trusted anyone else before, but he said one of the things that he can't do is rap, so he needed to get somebody else on. So here I am, and
that's something I can't do either. Nor do I would ever try. I make fun. My daughter rolls her eyes, so I don't. But we do listen to it. But of course, I don't rap. So
yeah, no, a lot of people don't. I kind of assumed that it was something that most people could do if they tried. It's basically just poetry, isn't it? But a bit quicker, more rhythmic. But it doesn't even need to be quick. But I get bored going too slowly.
Well, I mean, there's an art to the flow, if you will. You know.
Yeah, I think that's
flow,
it.
And it's no different than voicing lyrics. It's different, but it's the same. When you're voicing lyrics, it's the same as voicing words, right? You have this flow going, and you got the beat, and you have to kind of go against the beat with rap, where you're voicing in between with.
A few people keep telling me recently, they're like telling me I rap too fast. They're like, you rap too fast, you need to slow it down. I'm like, that's just my style. Like, it might be too fast for you, but I'm not gonna stop doing what I like doing because you think it's too fast. Do you ever get that, like when people give you feedback on your music and you're just a bit like... I
take it all in stride. And here's the thing. I'll be quite honest with you. I listen to what they say, but I make this music really at the end of the day. I make this for me.
Yeah, exactly. Really, yeah, that's good, man. That's good.
I really do. And I have no delusions of grandeur. I'm 62 years old. I'm a songwriter. If somebody picks up one of my songs, I kind of think I kind of want to write songs that are more picked up for like soundtracks or something. But they're stories is what they are. And I'm leaving them. And if something
that's good,
happens,
man.
great. If something doesn't, I was able to express something that I needed to express.
I think there's the thing, like, I don't know if you get this as well, but I think there's a thing with people who aren't artists themselves, or maybe even people who are not that into music. They sort of approach conversations with you as if it's all about getting big and blowing up, and like that's where all their questioning goes to, is like, you know, are you going to blow up or whatever? And it's a bit like, I'm doing it for the love.
Sometimes it's a little bit of a put off, because at times, like, I feel like some people can be condescending. Oh, you're in a band. Oh,
yeah.
But I think that they don't understand what it feeds for me or what it means to me. I mean, being a musician is an expression of yourself, and you're being transparent. So if people can't respect the fact that you're being real or transparent, then they're really not people that you really want as fans or in your corner, because they're superficial and shallow, dare I say.
No, you're right, man. You're right. And there's a lot of that, like, I see with bigger artists as well. People will say like, oh, this person's a one-hit wonder. And they'll laugh at them, or they'll go, oh, this person's a flop, like he only got to number 30. And it's like, yeah, it's like, that's amazing. Like, I'd take one hit any day. Like, and yeah, he did it. Like, well, I think that's the thing as well, isn't it? You're either very critical or you're supportive of people. And I think you're in a supportive camp. I mean, most people in the NAS are supportive camp, aren't they? And if they're not, they sort of tend to leave very quickly when they realize it's not what they thought it would be.
Yeah. So unfortunately, and I'll admit this, and I'll take ownership of this, I'm very critical in my my working normal day life.
Right.
I have to have a critical eye. But when it comes to music, music's art, and art is subjective. And so how dare I say, oh, I didn't like that? It's still an expression of art. It might not be my cup of tea, but it's going to be somebody else's. So you have to approach that. And I really, truly believe that to appreciate any music, you have to appreciate all of it. And you have to appreciate the person that was willing enough to be passionate enough to open up their soul to make it. And that's kind of the way I roll. I mean, you know.
You're right, man. Especially with live music, when, like you say, it takes some cojones to get up there. So we've got 5 minutes left on this meeting. So what I want to do is I want to get you to face the famous NAS Quickfire 5, if you can handle it. Can you handle it?
Okay, let me see. Put me on the spot.
Yeah, man, because everyone's got to face it. And I don't think we had this last time we had you on.
So here we go.
Remember, you've only got 15 seconds maximum to answer each question.
Oh, great. Now I'm like, all right, go ahead.
Okay, question 1. What is your favorite song from the New Artist Spotlight playlists?
Oh, without a doubt, and please forgive me, all you all. I love you all, but Rinse and Repeat. I turn that sucker all the way up. When I'm done a set and leaving the stage, I turn that on and walk off. I love it.
Yeah, man. Shout out Pat Scullions. Yeah, okay. Perfect.
So, but I love everybody else too. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Okay. Question 2. Which NAS member would you most like for us to get on this podcast?
Charles Connelly. I feel like I know him through chat, but I can't wait to share a bottle of wine with the guy and just really sit down and talk with him.
Yeah, agreed, man. And I think he's been on twice, and I've missed him both times as well. So I'd love to actually get him. Question 3.
Happen. I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, it'll happen. Yeah,
so it's on my bucket list. So.
Everyone wants Charles, man. Question 3. What is your favorite song of all time?
Oh, my favorite song of all time. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the 1940s and a song by Chet Baker and Ghost of a Chance. I don't know if he wrote it, but I know the trumpet on it just blows me away.
I'm going to have a listen to that, mate. I don't know.
It's old school. So,
question 4. Which band or artist, past or present, would you most like to see live?
Pretty much I see everybody I want to see, but I would love to bring Jerry Garcia back from the dead to see him one more time.
Nice, mate. Love it.
Bring him back from the dead to play with the dead to see him one more time.
Love it. And question 5, if you could spend a day with one of the NAS artists, who would you pick?
Wow. Can I just have a collaboration of people? Because there's so many people, it's hard to say. Because I really want to spend time with each and every one of you and talk with you about your processes and your struggles. I mean, the creative struggles of just what it's like trying to be an artist and produce and market and manage and all that stuff. It's overwhelming, and it's good to know and have somebody to commiserate with and maybe share stories with. So if I'm going to take the easy way out and say I want to spend a little bit of time with all of you.
Okay. I do think that's earned you a ban, I'm afraid. You're going to be banned from Quickfire 5 record books as a non-finisher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, one person. Okay, Ed Eagle, because I want to talk baseball and tell him about how great the Tampa Bay Rays could be.
No, you don't want to talk about any of that nonsense. No, forget about that.
No nonsense. So our hockey team, forget it. But all right. Okay.
Yeah, that's all Swahili to me, mate. But yeah, okay. I'm with you. So this is it. Thank you for coming on, man. What can we expect for you next?
Okay. I have a song that drops tomorrow, Hobbes. And then another song, Lily Flower, that drops sometime in August, and a couple more tracks later on this year. Please check out my website, richallenmusic.com. And let me just say mad love to all of you guys, New Artist Spotlight members and musicians, artists, and just thanks for the love and support. And, I'll see you guys at Monday at noon or 5 p.m., depending on your time zone. And I'm not sure about our folks in Australia, but a shout out to them as well. Thanks so much. And I look forward to your release as well.
Yeah, nice one, man. July the 8th, I think it is.
July the 8th. Okay, I did pre-state, but dates and stuff,
All right, man. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for listening as well. And we'll see you all next time.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
New Artist Spotlight.